Hi students, in this video we will discuss about the Indian Councils Act of 1861. If you see, it is the most important landmark in the constitutional and political history of India, and we will see why. So first thing is, after 1857, though after making the 1858 Act, the Britishers have realized that without Indians' participation, it will be difficult to rule India for the further years. So they started involving Indians in the law making process, and it was realized by nominating three Indians. One is Raja of Benares, Maharaja of Patiala, and Sir Dinakar Rao to the Legislative Council, that is the Central Legislative Council. And they were not elected, they were nominated by the Viceroy. And the second point is, we know that from 1773 to 1833, through a series of acts, the British government had established a process of centralization. Okay, now through this act, they want to reverse the process of centralization and they initiate the process of decentralization. How? Through legislative devolution. How? What is this legislative devolution and how it is achieved? First thing is, they restored the legislative powers to the Bombay and Madras provinces, not presidencies, because it is not under the East India Company rule. It is under the crown rule right now. So they restored the legislative powers which were taken in the 1833 Act. Okay, and this legislative devolution had ultimately reached in 1935 Act as a complete internal autonomy to the provinces, which is also reflected as a form of federation in the present Indian political system. And a new legislative councils have also been established for three new provinces. And the first thing is 1862 Bengal, 1866 new northwest provinces, which are nothing but the present Pakistan. And if you see, 1886 means the Congress had already been established. Try to recollect also the parallel developments which are happening along with the main acts, okay? Because all those things have a kind of a logical interconnection. And 1897, they also has established a new legislative council for Punjab, okay? And the third and most important thing is, so okay, let us recall. Okay, the first thing is they involved Indians in the lawmaking process, that is nominated to the Central Legislative Council, three Indians, and the process of decentralization through two steps. First thing is restore the legislative powers to Bengal and Bombay and Madras, and establish three new legislative councils for Bengal, Northwest Province, and Punjab. And remember, the capital is not yet in Delhi. The capital is still in Bengal. Okay, the capital will be shifting in 1911. Okay, and the third most important thing is the present Article 77 Class 3 has roots in this 1861 Act. That is, the rules and orders for more convenient transaction of the business in the council were, that means to make these rules and orders, the Viceroy has got powers in this Act. Okay, and then another most important thing which gave birth to Council of Ministers system in the present Indian political system, which is also contained in the cabinet system, is portfolio system. Though it was established in 1859 by the Lord Canning, that is the then Viceroy, this Act gave a legal provision, that is the constitutional backing, to the Council of Ministers system. Comment which article of the Indian Constitution contains the provisions for the Council of Ministers. Okay. So this Act also contains provision for the establishment of the portfolio system. Portfolio system means nothing. Each member, some members of the Legislative Council will head a department of the government, and they will take the sole responsibility and the ultimate decision making power in respect of their individual departments. Okay, and this act also contains provisions to issue ordinances by the Viceroy. So an ordinance system was also established. And if you see, this ordinance system is reflected or replicated. I mean, it is present in the present Indian Constitution through Article 123 for President and Article 213 for the Governor of each state. And if you have any questions or any doubts, please comment, and please give us your comments how the lecture was. Thank you so much.